welcome to my channel. My name is Alexa Lucier, and today I'm going to talk about my fitness journey. Starting off, we're going to start with the very beginning. So before I got into fitness, this is like growing up, I was a very active child. I was always outside. I did dance, soccer, track. I was always hanging out with family outside. So I would relatively say I was overall like active. I was a very lean child too. I never put on like too much weight. Like I said, I was always outside. I was always eating decently good. So that's pretty much kind of like my childhood growing up. So really my journey starts with 9th grade, freshman year of high school. I was still kind of active. I feel like middle school I didn't really do much. Like I did track, I did soccer in middle school, but getting up to like 8th grade, like I kind of like fell out of my habits. I wasn't really doing any sports at that time, and I was going through a lot. So when it came to 9th grade, I would say I wasn't very healthy or fit. I did do cheerleading, and other than that, I wasn't really eating very good at this point in my life. You know, I was going through puberty and hormones, so like my weight fluctuated, and I was definitely pretty insecure at this point. I feel like most people are at this age range. For active level, I did do cheer and I did do indoor track. I just didn't take it very seriously. But near the end of my freshman year, I wanted to learn more about losing weight. I was definitely interested. So I, went on Pinterest or I went on Google, and I remember during this point I was really obsessed with like fruit infused water. So I did that a lot. And I tried to dabble in like doing smoothies and stuff, but other than that, I was very unknowledgeable. This comes to my sophomore year in high school, and this was around the time that COVID was beginning to start. So I was still learning some stuff. I knew that diet was a huge thing, and at this point in my life, I was really obsessed with having abs. That was like a huge thing to me. I really just wanted to be lean, lose fat, and have abs. That was a big thing. So when everything shut down and coronavirus was a huge thing and impacted many people, for some reason this was like a turning point in my life. I wanted to use this time away from everyone and really focus on myself and get myself together. So I just did a lot of research and I learned a lot about diet and caloric deficit. That was like a big term that I use that. And if you don't know what that means, it's pretty much consuming less calories than you're burning. And when you're in a caloric deficit, it helps you like lose weight and lose fat. I learned that actually pretty early on. When everything shut down, I pretty much started grocery shopping. My grandpa would take me to the store, and I was eating very clean. And I feel like once I started that, like even up to this point now in my life, that hasn't really changed. Like once I learned about diet and how important it was, I've stuck to a healthy diet. During this point, I loved like smoothie bowls and smoothies, and I did dabble into keto. I did dabble into keto a little bit, which I feel like is not really a shocker. I feel like newbies really get into that, or at least I did. So I was doing like keto friendly, which didn't last very long. The biggest part was the fact that I did start to work out. So like I said, before this point, I really only did sports, and during COVID, I really wanted to shred fat. So I got into doing the at-home workout videos. I don't know if any of you guys remember, but Chloe Ting was a huge thing at this time. So I did her like 2-week shred, and I lost like about 20 pounds in like 2.5-3 weeks. So it was a huge thing for me. This is the first time I really visibly started to see my abs, which was huge. I was obsessed. So that's why I said this is a turning point. This is the first time ever that I was really dedicated to becoming healthy and living a healthy lifestyle. And it was more than just like getting abs. Like I was eating good. I made sure I had a structured morning routine, which I still do to this day. I was just really dedicated to the whole lifestyle at this point, and I become addicted. It's kind of, like I said, the beginning of my fitness journey really started with COVID. Like maybe beginning of 2021, when things started opening up again, I steered away from the workout videos. I was still doing them, but I started running a mile every day, which I have a lot of pictures of that. And I was obsessed with trying to get a really fast mile. I didn't really run much more than a mile, but I was obsessed with running. Like this. We're getting into my junior year of high school, and I'm still running a lot. Like this is definitely like my cardio era during my fitness journey. At this point, I was fit. I was running all the time. I was still eating good. I was healthy. I was lean. But what I didn't realize is that doing all this and doing excessive amounts of running could be very bad. Because the more I ran, the more I wanted to do it. So I was shying away from only running a mile every day, and I was running a lot more because at the beginning of my junior year, I did cross country. If you've ever done cross country, running like many miles, and I was really good at it because I was like doing it throughout the summer. I was running throughout the summer. So I was doing cross country on top of running at home, and I still wasn't eating very much because I was still in that mindset of being in a caloric deficit. That's really the only thing I knew. I knew that I needed to do that to lose weight. So if you can tell, I started to go down a very bad road where I was over exercising and not eating enough. I definitely was not fueling my body. I was running like multiple miles every day, and then I started counting my steps. So I was obsessed with calories, and that led me to not a very good road. I was at a severe deficit at this point. I remember there was a time where I went to do a hospital checkup, and my doctor looked at me and she was like, "You are not eating enough. You are way too lean, and you need to start bulking up. You need to start putting on muscle. Like, you are just is like very unhealthy." So that was kind of like a reality check that I was definitely not doing something right at this point. Like, I did get shredded, I did get the abs, I was healthy at one point, so I had everything I wanted, but I wanted to learn more about what this lifestyle could do for me. So I started doing more research, and that's when I learned about weightlifting and bodybuilding. I learned about the other aspect about a caloric surplus, which is pretty much the same thing, but you want to be eating more calories than you're burning so you can put on muscle. So that's when I learned that aspect. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And as I was getting into the physiques and stuff, I started realizing that I wanted to build more muscle and be more muscular than lean at this point. So I looked into my nearest gym, and I started lifting near the end of my junior year. Now we get into my senior year. So throughout my junior year, I was mainly lean, and I just started weightlifting near the end. And now for my senior year, I was still working out. I wasn't 100% consistent, but I was definitely putting on some more weight. The more I lifted, I noticed the more hungry I would be, so I would be eating more. But near the middle to end of my senior year, that's when I learned more about protein, like the importance of eating protein and getting those amino acids to build up my muscles. So I tried to implement as much protein as I could. I remember during this time I was obsessed with protein, so I'd make like oatmeal and add protein powder to it, and peanut butter, granola, fruit. So I was still eating good. Like, I still was eating good food. I just was trying to learn like how to properly fuel my body for what I was doing. So I think my senior year I was getting a good grasp on it, but I still wasn't 100% sure. But I did stop like counting my calories, so I was trying to intuitively eat, because I also learned that throughout my research, and people at this time were like really into intuitive eating. So that's what I was getting into. During this time, I'd walk to the gym. It'd take me like 45 minutes to walk to my gym, and then I would do cardio for an hour. So I would not leave the treadmill until I had an hour of cardio done. And then after that, I would go and weightlift, and it'd take me 3 to 4 hours because my split was terrible. I knew I needed to train all parts of my body, but every other day it was either upper body, lower body, upper body, lower body. Like, that was my split, and I would do that like 5-6 days a week. So I was just way overworking my body. Near the end of my senior year, I was doing track. So I wanted to take it seriously. It was my last year. So I said I was starting to lose some of the muscle, some of the fat, and I was okay with that at that point because I noticed that like being leaner was helping me run more. So near the end of my senior year, I got back into running and I was running a lot, and I did good. I knew from previous year that what I was doing then wasn't right, so I was fueling my body. I was really into cardio, and I kind of stopped weightlifting near the end of my senior year in the summer, going to my first year of college. I came into college, this is when I learned the most information. As my major, I'm actually going for fitness development and strength and conditioning. But anyways, first year of college, physique wise, I was really lean because I really wasn't lifting much over the summer. I was really focusing on running. But when I started college, every like college campus usually has like a fitness center right on it, so it was easy access. So I wanted to start getting into lifting again, and I learned the importance of a split. I can't exactly remember what my split was then, but I definitely wasn't working out 3 to 4 hours a day. I knew that that was not doable and that you shouldn't be doing that. So I started lifting and my physique was getting better. This is when I really started taking photos to track my progress, which I totally recommend. I was still eating good. I didn't know the concept really of meal prepping yet. We'll get into that, but I still knew like I should be eating protein and all that. So I'd say my first year was pretty good. Near the end, I started bulking actually, and this was like my first like real bulk. It wasn't a clean bulk. I didn't know what that was yet, but I was bulking. I was eating a lot, so I put on a decent amount of muscle mass near the end of my first year of college. Now we get into my second year of college. I loved this year. This is when I introduced my friend Sophie. She was my roommate. Actually, this was last year, but anyways. So the really cool thing about that is that me and Sophie both have a passion for fitness, and we're both going for like the same type of major. So when we roomed together, it was like a match made in heaven. We started lifting together. She really pushed me on my workouts, and I had a really good split at this point. I was 100% dedicated to lifestyle, as I am now. So it was really dedicated to lifestyle. I had a good split. We ended up doing a clean bulk together, so we were eating, you know, in a caloric surplus, eating a lot of calories. We ate really good food. We started like meal prepping at this point. I knew this concept, but it's kind of hard to do in college when you have like a lot of roommates. So we did the best that we could, but we always made sure we were eating enough protein and we're like intuitively tracking our macros. This year of college was more focused on the weightlifting aspect. Like my previous year was more running based, less lifting, and then my second year of college was more weightlifting, not a lot of cardio. So even though I was like clean bulking, I still put on like more fat. So I don't know, I just feel like they were like so different. Like most of my time throughout my fitness journey was cardio based, and this is the first time I'm really into weightlifting, but I'm just still not 100% knowledge. Like I still have this urge to like learn more, of course. I'm gonna still continue to learn throughout my whole journey, but I wanted to know more about what I could do to implement both, and that brings me to this year. I'm now in my third year of college, and this would be my 5th year in my fitness journey. I've learned so much, not only from doing my own personal research, but from school, since that's what I'm going for. I have learned about lean bulking, which is what I'm doing now actually. Once again, I have not really been in a cut, and I know like most people, I haven't really been in a cut. I did a little bit I'm in my second semester now, but my fall semester of this year, I was in a cut to like see kind of how much muscle I gained from like back when I was doing a lot of cardio. Now trying to lean bulk and also know the term hybrid training, which is a huge thing right now, and this was also not something I knew of back in high school when I first learned, which I feel like would have been really useful, especially during my senior year when I was trying to do both, but I was like excessively doing it. So I feel like that's mainly what this channel is going to be about. I mean, comment if you guys want me to make a video on anything. I'm always open to it, but that's really my main interest, and that's what I'm doing now. I run every other day, and I'm doing core every other day. So the days I'm not running, I'm doing core. And I have a really good split, so I'm also weightlifting 6 days a week. So my diet has become a lot more complex than it was. I know I didn't really touch much into what my diet was then. I could also do another video on that. But I would say overall, throughout my fitness journey, I ate well. I mean, there was definitely points where I'd fallen off and, you know, I'd eat whatever. Like, I haven't been too strict on my diet, I would say, since probably like junior year. So like since senior year up to now, like I'm not super strict on it, but there's definitely times where like I fell off on it. Now I've been good since the summertime. Actually, I've been like meal prepping, so I've been really into that. And a lot of the stuff I eat is like clean and whole foods. That's what I've been obsessed with, actually. So I'm trying to cut out as much processed foods as I can. And I eat kind of like the typical diet. Like I do rice, chicken, or like lean ground beef or ground turkey with veg. So I always try to make sure I get as much protein, like my body weight in protein. Carbs, fruits, veggies, healthy fats. So like that's kind of what I focus on. And so I intuitively eat still, but making it healthy and whole foods. Yeah, like I said, I'm running and lifting now. I can also make like a whole video on like my training and what I'm doing, but I also stretch, which is something I used to not do for a long time, except for like when I did cheerleading. Like, you know, cheer, you have to work on your mobility and flexibility and stuff, but I know that's like a huge thing, and it's very important to work on your flexibility and your mobility. So I make sure I dynamic stretch before and static stretch after. Me and Sophie also used to do this my second year. But yeah, these past 2 years I've really paid attention and started stretching more, which is important. And yeah. Oh, one last thing. I also did learn about supplements, which is a huge thing right now as well. I didn't know much about it in the past, but I take creatine. I always tried to take Omen's Daily Vitamin. And I've learned about all the different supplements, like pre-workout. I take pre-workout. And then you have like electrolytes. Like I like to take those while I run and stuff like that. That's just like something I've just learned throughout like my journey, but more so I started getting to learn those things throughout college. Like, I didn't really know too much about that during high school. So I also wanted to add that. Yeah, I'd say I have a very good history on fitness and just knowledge, and I've like learned and grown throughout my journey. So I also want to preface that I did not know everything when I started. If you could tell by this video, it's kind of, my journey's up, down, up, down. It's kind of crazy. I've been through a little bit of everything with crazy diet, like the keto diet, and like eating a bunch of smoothies, to like excessively running, and the other aspect, I was excessively weightlifting, and being in a severe caloric deficit to being like a caloric surplus for a long time. I mean, I bulked for a long time to now I'm into hybrid training. So before I end this video, I want to talk about kind of my goals for this channel. I want to start off with my why. You're probably wondering, what is that? So a why is pretty much something I believe everyone should have when getting and starting their fitness journey, and I think most people do. And pretty much my why when I first started, which I had mentioned earlier, pretty much was for physique reasons only. I was really obsessed with like wanting to have abs and stuff, but I don't think that's a very strong why or reason why you should get into fitness. So mine now, mainly it's just my passion. I love the way it makes me feel. It energizes me. It helps me get up in the morning. I love it. It's just like my entire world. And I also want to be the healthiest version of myself I can be when I eventually have kids, because I want to pass on my knowledge to them, because it has just changed my life. Mainly this video has been about my journey on a surface level, but it has helped me so much mentally, emotionally, physically, in like every aspect of my life. It honestly made me who I am today, and brought me here to college, because this is my, like I said many times, this is my passion. So I want to give out to people. That's also why I'm making this channel. I want to help other people, hopefully give you as much information as you can, so you don't have to go through this crazy 5-year journey like I did. Yeah, that's kind of my why. It's for you guys, it's for me, and it's for my future kids. So that's why I'm continuing on with my journey and why I keep going every day. Now for my job, as I've mentioned, my major is strength and conditioning for human performance. And with that, I would love to be a personal trainer. I want to help as many people as I can. So that's also why I'm making content and I have a platform to give out as much information as I can. A nutritionist, maybe a running coach, and just a content creator for you guys, so I can help as many people as I can with their fitness journey. And last thing, we're going to start with my goals for this year, because as you know, it's 2025, and I feel like my goals have changed so much throughout these years. Right now, my goals for my fitness journey are be able to run half mile, so I think that's 13.5 miles, so like 12 to 13 miles straight. I would love to be able to bench 135, which is a plate. And I think my leg press, I put 800 pounds, I think. Which all this I want to film for you guys, so you guys can see my journey, reaching these goals. Other ones are, I love to be able to do calisthenics, so getting like a muscle up, over like 10 pull-ups, stuff like that. So I'm gonna make a video on that. Another goal of mine, because I just did the bod pod, which pretty much I sat in this like pod thing and it told me my body fat percentage. So right now it's 23.5, and I would love to be able to reach, I think, like 17%, because I want to really lean out to see how my muscles have developed since I started. So that is another goal and a video coming up for you guys. And yeah, other than that, I think that's going to conclude this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and comment down below some struggles that maybe you have had throughout your fitness journey, or what you'd like to know, or any video ideas you'd like me to make. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day.